and we've got a lovely update for you this morning. You might remember Sophie the rescue dog from Romania, who was adopted by former BBC technology correspondent Rory Cellan-Jones and his wife Diane a couple of years ago.
Well, for the first 6 months in her new home, Sophie was so nervous she barely moved from just behind the sofa.
Ever since then, Rory has been documenting his family's attempts to coax her out, build up her confidence, and that story has captured the hearts of thousands of people on social media.
Now he's telling her story in his new book, and I'm delighted to say Rory is with us now. Hi.
Hello.
Rory, oh my goodness, she's just gorgeous, isn't she?
She is beautiful. She sends her apologies. She barely goes out of the house, let alone to anywhere public and busy, but we're making progress.
Yeah, because we saw her in the early days where she was just cowering behind the sofa, would only come out when you guys left the room. What's she like today? How much progress?
Well, we did have a big breakthrough last summer where she was eventually coaxed out from the sofa, began sleeping in a bed. She went on Prozac. That was the story, which seemed extraordinary at the time, seemed a really weird thing to do, but it kind of worked. It built her confidence up to that level. She started walking in February, end of February, more than a year after we got her. And now she's kind of up and down. Sometimes she's a bit confident about walking. Sometimes she gets to the end of our street and says, no, I'm going no further, puts her paws down and back we have to go. So it's a continuing journey.
Can you ever work out what is it that makes her confident or more confident on one day than another? What is it?
Well, part of it is whether my wife is home. My wife is away half the week in Cambridge, where she's a professor. And Sophie does go into a bit of a sulk with me. She looks at me as if to say, you again.
You're not good enough.
Yeah. And then she perks up no end when Diane comes home.
But what treats is Diane giving her? That's what I want to know.
It. She is getting a lot better with me. She will actually come and, which is really delightful, and let me scratch her behind the ears. And then if I stop, she'll pick up a paw and put it on me, which is, lovely.
You'll do.
I'll just about do.
You're saying Sophie can't make it to Salford today and doesn't even want to come behind our sofa. But our correspondent Jo Inwood did go and spend a few hours with Rory and Sophie to see how she's getting on. Have a look.
There we are. That's better. Come on then.
Taking Sophie from Romania for a walk is never easy, but this is progress.
There have been big breakthroughs and then big setbacks. Big breakthroughs in getting her out walking and then expanding that and going on long walks taking her in the car to places. The good thing is she has got a lot more, in the house, she's got a lot more affectionate and trusting and lies back for belly rubs and so on. So that's good, but it's always frustrating when we go back a step.
Did you have any idea how much work taking Sophie on was going to be?
God, no. No. I mean, we'd had a rescue dog who was a bit nervy, but nothing on this scale. And she is, she dominates our lives, mine in particular.
Presumably, though, you would advise anyone thinking about getting a dog to think very carefully before...
I'd say meet the dog. Meet the dog.
You hadn't met her?
No, of course not, because she was in Romania and...
Oh, I thought you'd gone over to...
No. She arrived on a transport. We'd seen a clip of her looking very jolly and lively. That was a bit misleading, really, about obviously her personality. We've taken her on board. She's part of our family. We can't give up on her. The paparazzi are after you again.
Rory, you were a very well-known BBC correspondent, but is it fair to say you've possibly become better known as a social media dog owner?
Definitely. I was walking around here the other day and somebody stopped me and said, she's more famous than you, mate. And I said, you're absolutely right.
Good throw. There we are. All I needed was bribes.
Good girl.
Well done, Sophie.
That's it, we're out now. That was pretty amazing. I don't think I've seen a stranger give her a treat before. Well, this is a morning of breakthroughs. All All right? Come on, come on. Come on. That was fun, wasn't it?
So, Rory, what happened there with Joe was really quite something, wasn't it?
That was amazing. When they said they were coming, I said, listen, I don't know what you'll get, but she won't like you.
You've heard about Joe, yeah?
Yeah. And they were great, both of them, Joe and Justin, the cameraman. But she felt very nervous. She looked at them. She kept turning around and going the other way. It was a bit sort of Keystone Cops. And then gradually, when they were there long enough, her curiosity began to rise. And I was absolutely gobsmacked when she accepted a treat from both of them in the end. Mind you, when I took them back to the house for a coffee, she barked the house down. She hates people coming to the house. She had to be put in the kitchen because, you know...
That's her territory.
That's her territory, yeah.
You say Justin, the cameraman, Joe, the reporter, kept their distance and took their time. I suppose part of the challenge for you is that as she becomes more famous and you become more famous as a couple, if you like, people see you out, they want to approach, they want to get close, they want to stroke. How do you manage that?
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily we're out at 7 o'clock in the morning, so it is quite quiet. But there have been several fans who... they're very good, actually. Most people who know about her obviously know her story. And they're just very pleased to see her. And they ask if they can take a picture. And, of course, we say yes, but don't get too close.
And how much do you know about what happened to her?
We know quite a bit, and it's not as bad as it might seem. Because she was part of a litter that was found abandoned by the roadside in a Romanian village, rescued by this woman vet, who gave them to her dad, who had a barn. And she lived in a barn for several months. And what our dog behaviour expert, Si, says is that she was never properly socialised. So she's suddenly taken in a van across Europe for 3 days, which is traumatic enough, into a house. She's never been into a house before, strangers, and she just freaks out. And he says it's very easy to instill fear in a dog, very hard and lengthy process to take it away again.
Wow.
This is the story of Sophie. It's also the story of you and your relationship with Sophie, because the last couple of years have coincided with you telling your story about your Parkinson's diagnosis. And I was wondering, how has having Sophie helped you, impacted on your experiences?
Yeah, the story of the year with Sophie is very much the story of my Parkinson's diary too, because it happened... she was going to be part of my regime, my exercise regime. Exercise is really important for Parkinson's. And I used to go out with our old dog Cabbage, 7 o'clock, rain or shine, every day. And I was counting on doing the same with Sophie, and it didn't happen for a year. But she has been a great sort of thing to focus on. We've both got problems. We know about her problems. I've got a progressive condition, which actually has got quite a bit worse in the last year. And she's something wonderful to focus on. She's a great support. She doesn't know it, but she is.
Yeah, she doesn't mean to be, but she is. What do you think you've been able to learn from her?
Well, my wife says I'm not a patient person. I don't know why she says that, but I think I've learnt a bit of patience. And the other thing I've learnt, and somebody said this to me, and I think it was very wise, you've got to accept that she's not the dog you wanted, but you've got to learn the dog that you have. She's not the dog that I imagine, you know, throwing a ball for her on the beach and she'll run and pick it up, or sit on the sofa next to me. She hasn't quite got there yet, but she's still incredibly lovable.
Is that still the aim, though, to get there,
yes.
for her to be that dog?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think you will? Or she
who
will?
knows? Who knows? I have got, as I said, a lot more realistic. At the beginning, when people said it might take a year or more, I said, I'm no way am I up for that. And here we are, nearly 2 years in. So
she's taught you patience and hope.
Hope, yeah.
She's also got really good taste. Well, I think she's got really good taste when it comes to breakfast television.
Oh, yes. This is her this morning.
It's on in the room.
Yeah,
she's looking the other way.
She's looking the other way, yeah.
Here she is. This is this morning, just in the last hour or so.
Picture that Diane took in the last hour. Sophie, I hope you're watching now and give Mum a good time.
Aww.
They've probably just got back from their walk, haven't
they? Yeah.
Rory, it's lovely to see you looking well. And it's always fascinating to catch up on Sophie's adventures. Rory, chronicling those on social media almost every day, aren't you?
I am, yes.
And in the book as well, which is called Sophie from Romania, A Year of Love and Hope with a Rescue Dog, and it's out tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rory.
Thank you.
It's great to see you. Thank you.